Shalom, shalom, everybody. Making another video. I'm just driving, but I just wanted the opinionated one. You know, I got an opinion, and I just want to put it out there. You know, I'm glad that Donald Trump is going to take the welfare away from everybody. I'm not even going to say Donald Trump, but just to keep it impersonal, I'm glad that the government is going to do that. We need to be off of this welfare. We need to get off of the titty of the government. Black people. Now, I know that, you know, there are probably more white people or Caucasians or Europeans or whatever you want to call them that's on welfare. Okay? When you look at the numbers, because I've looked at the numbers, and the numbers kind of double the so-called African American, right? So here's my thing. I believe that we need to get off of the government help. We need to get off of welfare. We need to get off of dependence. Just anything that the government has given us, we need to get off of it and hold our own people accountable. Our own people that are accountable. Our lawyers, our doctors, our singers, our rappers, our musicians, anybody who is so-called Black Power African American when somebody gets shot by a cop, right? When bad things happen to so-called African Americans, right? They want to take their rich voice and get on TV and their Instagrams and their Facebooks and say how pro-black and people, you know, we need to come together and we need to stop killing and blah, 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 blah. Those are the same people that should be held accountable. When you're hungry, right, as a so-called African American, when you're hungry, when your light bill needs to be paid or when you need some kind of help, those are the people that you should be calling on, not the government, right? When the government gives us something, anyone, not just black people, but anyone, they take your power away. Every time they give you something, they take something in return. And in the 50s, before we got on welfare and became Democrats and became, you know, dependent on government, begging and asking for everything under the sun instead of actually going out and trying, just trying to do it ourselves. We can't do it. We won't do it. When you get someone in the hood that wants to go and do something, I want to go to college, I want to become an engineer, you'll have all your people, right, so-called African Americans, pulling you down, saying that you shouldn't do it, it's for the white man. But then in 10 years, when you're a janitor and you're hating your life, you want to blame somebody. That makes no sense to me, right? So here's another good point for you guys. Black Panther comes out, right? Now you have all these so-called African Americans, these Christians, these black people, right? And I only say that because they don't know who they really are. They don't know their nationality. They just know that someone told them they were blacks. Someone told them they were niggas. Someone told them that they were, you know, all these bywords and proverbs that's prophesied in the Bible. This is what we go by. You don't know your nationality. So that's why I say blacks. So, you know, when you get black people talking about, oh, I can't wait for Black Panther to come out. We're kings and we're queens and we need to represent and our whole family needs to go and we need to take our children and we need to go blah, 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 right? So you'll go with that kind of ruling class mentality. But then when you leave the theater, you'll teach your kids about equality. Those are two different messages. That's confusion. You either want to be the ruling class or you want to be the ruled class, right? There's no ruling class on this planet that believes that they're equal with anyone. You cannot be equal and be the ruling class. You have to make up your mind. But see, it's easier to go in and say, yeah, we want to be kings and queens and we're kings and queens in our blood and blah, 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 right? Well, you don't know any history. You don't know anything about what you're talking about. So it's easy just to say, oh, we're equal. because you don't know anything. You have no scholarship. You don't read books. All you do is let someone tell you something, and you take that and you run with it. You don't research anything. We don't know who we really are as so-called African Americans, right? So here's my thing. If we want to come together as a nation, then we need to separate ourselves from the government. I don't mean be no racist, bigot. But just because you love your people does not make you a racist. Okay? You don't have to be hateful while you love your people, But you can at the same time realize and acknowledge that you are a nation of people separate. Right? You're not black people. You're not African American people. Those are titles that were put on you in your captivity, just like the Mexicans, just like the Mexicans are Hebrew people. Their ancestors, the Aztecs, are Hebrews. But the Spaniards conquered their land and gave them Spanish language. They don't speak Spanish. There's no such thing as Mexican. That's Issachar. In the Bible, there's 18 nations on this earth. But when the Europeans conquered and colonized everything, they changed names. They changed the names of people. Black, whites, it's not just black people. They changed everything. And now it's 2018, we don't know who we are. We're getting shot in the street, last hired, first fired. We're in every city, country, or state, city that we're in, there's a hood filled with Hebrews that think they're niggas, that walk around with their pants hanging off their butt, walk around with a chip on their shoulder, complaining to everybody, begging to everybody. We have our women walking around, hating our men. They're half naked. They walk around with doggy stringy hair. It's self-hate. They don't love themselves, right? But they know everything. And if you disagree with a black person, right? A black person, if you disagree with them or you have your own opinion and you don't look like me, you're a racist. And if you don't agree with me and you look like me, you're a hater. What is that? This is how we live every day. This is why we don't like each other. This is how I can walk down the street to an older guy and say, "Good afternoon, sir," and he just walk right past me. But this is the same guy that'll say we need to come together as a nation and we need to stop all the bull crap. Meanwhile, you're listening to a song while you're saying that, saying the total opposite. It's telling you to kill your people and to hate your women and to do all the drugs and to destroy your community, right? Until we hold people accountable, I said this a long time, it's like I'm beating a dead horse. Until we hold people accountable, and ourselves included, nothing is going to change for our people. You can march and protest all you want. You can vote. You can do all of these things. Voting does not help our people, right? If it wasn't crony capitalism, if it wasn't corruption, maybe. But because this thing is so corrupt, this does not help you. We've had a so-called black president. And did it help our people? No. He made laws for fags. Obama was not a Negro. Obama is an African man. The Bible says that the seed goes through the house of your father. His father's a Kenyan. His father is an African, and his mother is a white woman. So there's nothing Negro about him. That's how he was able to become president. A Negro man will never be able to become president because that goes against the Bible prophecy. The Most High will never let that happen because we are not ever going to be on top of anything, because as a nation, as his chosen nation, Deuteronomy 7:6, as his chosen nation, we are disobedient. Look at us. We are disgusting. So I just wanted to drop that, be in your bonnet, and we need to really believe the words that we are saying when we say we need to come together. We need to start believing this garbage that we're spewing instead of making it propaganda for divisive hate, So that's all I wanted to say. Shalom. Christ bless.